South Wales in March, just before the election campaign got underway. No, this wasn't a canvassing caravan, but a last opportunity before the serious political job began for a visit to one of Britain's key industrial areas. The visitor, the Prime Minister, arriving here at the new Harold Wilson estate at Caerphilly. Flanked by the Chairman of the Council and the Secretary of State for Wales, Mr. Wilson performed the opening ceremony at the new trading estate.
It was a very courageous enterprise, and we have seen that more and more this industrial estate is going to be a thriving area of employment. I thank you for naming this estate after me. I hope it will thrive. I'll have to keep an eye on it and see that it does. And in that spirit, I should now like to go and formally declare it open.
Next stop in a day when the Prime Minister covered a lot of Welsh ground was Bedwas colliery. Here in the canteen he met men and management, and as usual had to face the press. As a memento of his visit, he took away with him a pair of safety lamps. Then from the Welsh valleys, he headed off on the long trail which was to end back at Downing Street. The air we breathe is all around us. Its presence is vital to life. Without it, we should die. Every living thing draws its sustenance from the air. Carbon dioxide for plants, oxygen for men and animals. In our minds, men and machines need air. Air to breathe. Air to carry away dust and gases. Air to make work and life possible. Whenever you are near a pithead, you are very likely to hear the steady hum of the motors that drive the fans that ventilate the mine. Every mine has at least two headstocks. The downcast shaft is open, the upcast is as airtight as possible to let the fan draw air through the mine. A key job at any mine is that of the ventilation officer. He's responsible for a continual check of the air supply, both its quantity and its quality. The barometer tells him the pressure of the atmosphere, and he must check that normal ventilation conditions are being maintained by the fan. The amount of air circulating round the pit is measured at many different points. He uses the annomometer to measure the airflow, and from that can calculate the amount of air circulating. Where airspeed is low, he uses a smoke generator. The time the smoke cloud travels a given distance is the basis of his calculations. Not only quantity, but quality are important. Gases like methane are dangerous, and their presence must be checked so that measures can be taken to disperse them. The ventilation officer takes frequent samples at suspect locations. These he sends to the area laboratory for analysis. Here they measure not only the amount of methane, but also the carbon dioxide, oxygen and nitrogen content of each sample. In the fan house are the lungs of the mine. Thousands of cubic feet of air are pumped through the workings night and day. There are usually two motors and two fans, one ready to take over the instant the other may have to be halted. In a mine, the air supply is never taken for granted. Few of us on the surface ever give the air we breathe more than a passing thought. Northumberland has been hit by the Japanese invasion. This is Kendo, the way of the sword, most ancient of Japanese sports. But instead of wielding two-handed samurai swords, today's contestants fight with split bamboo. Once dressed for battle in ceremonial garb and protected by breastplate, gloves and helmet, you're no longer an electrician, a confectioner or a clerk, but a warrior equipped to fight for your life. Your opponent will try to flick off your right wrist. He'll try to cut you clean in half at the chest, or cleave your head in two. Your job is to stop it, and do the same to him, if you can. This way there's more noise than blood, but the Ks, or shouts, have a purpose. They serve to distract at that vital split second. King of the Oriental fans is Bill Prithurch, an electrician at Lyemouth Colliery. He's a karate expert. The club where he acts as instructor is at Blythe, but before getting down to business, there are limbering-up exercises. Kathy Ridge, the only girl member, is the sister of an Ashington miner.
Ish. Martur, Adari, Idanvari, Gakazugi. Ish.
Karate means empty hand, and no blows actually land in combat. If they did, they might easily be fatal. Kathy Ridge and Stan Warren demonstrate. She may look innocent enough, but she's not a girl you'd want to take liberties with. A block of timber planks will give you an idea of what would happen if one of those punches or kicks was aimed in earnest. Their job is to advise people living in areas becoming smoke control areas. The Showbiz Touch helps them in the job. Working now for the Coal Utilisation Council, they're known, appropriately enough, as the Living Fire Girls.
I always find that when I undo a door, I try and judge the person the moment they undo the door, and I think, hello, we've got a sticky one here. And, you sort of go along being very wary of what you say, and then as you've been talking for a while, you suddenly find that they're sort of saying, oh yes, is that so? Oh, I didn't know that. And could you tell me about such a thing? And before you know where they are, they've completely changed, and you sort of go, phew. Some people can be very annoying. They're very rude, you know. You go and knock on people's doors and they say, what do you want? And we're sick of people knocking on our doors. But this is not the general rule. Most people are really nice to you. Oh, do come in, dear, and have a cup of tea or something like that. And they're really interested in you, if they see that you're interested in them. It's funny, during the fine weather everyone's very cheerful and they'll say, come in and have a cup of coffee, and you say, well, I won't stop because I want to get on. But when it's pouring down with rain, they keep you standing at the door with just the nose peeking out, and there you are with papers dripping wet and your pen's beginning to run down the page. It's all a bit funny. As long as you can see the funny side of all these things, you're okay. But usually it's fun. It's hard work as well, but it's fun, which makes it nice, you enjoy what you're doing.
Of course, there's always the possibility that the lady of the house isn't home. In all the new smoke control areas, demonstration houses have been prepared where householders can learn how to stay within the law and stay warm.